No apologies needed. You're working on all that tech stuff. No apologies needed.
Thank you, TK. I
You're
appreciate
doing the work.
you. Oh man. So yeah. It is. Good morning. Good morning. We are now live. Welcome to the Black Filmmakers Lounge. Remember
Welcome
this,
to the Black Filmmakers Lounge.
ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Black Filmmakers
Oh
Lounge.
my goodness. Not channeling you, Lewis.
Actually,
Oh my
I had this
goodness.
music, but I will say this. All right. For today's movie, we have to do a little smoothness because it's a romantic comedy we're going to be talking about today. So we just got to bring that in. You know what I
I got you. I got you. Yeah, yes, yes.
mean?
That definitely would have been theme music
Yeah.
for James Earl, Mr. What's his name? Mr. Marshall. What's his
Oh
name?
yeah. Yeah. Um and it's so interesting because when you see that movie, we're going to be talking about Claudine today, y'all. So we like to say good morning to everybody. Welcome
Good morning.
for everyone who's joining us. Sorry for us hopping on a minute late. We do apologize. Um, well, I apologize because it's not TK.
I was about to say, don't nobody apologize when they late, but I didn't say nothing.
Hey, I'm
Some
still
people
a
do.
cordial cat.
They'll-
I'm still a cordial
Some
dude.
people
I
do.
believe in
They'll say, "Hey, I'm here. I'm sorry, I'm late."
it.
They will say that. So I take that back. I
But
take that back.
we just want to make sure you guys are joining us today.
Where is Oh, I yawned. Oh, excuse me. Oh, there we are. Gotta pull it up. Oh, there we are. There we
Oh,
go.
yeah, you got to turn
Turn the
down the
volume
volume.
down.
We both do.
Got it. I got it. Got it. What's up, everyone?
What's up? What's up? What's up? Let me go in as. There we go.
What is up? I'm trying to get to the comments. Where's the comment part? It's something different every week.
I know Facebook be changing stuff.
No, well, this is YouTube. Usually I pull it up in the comments or right there.
Oh, okay.
So when I pulled this up this morning, I'm like, where the comment section? Does it show the comment section where I can write and say hi?
I know, right?
Okay,
Let me
well,
see.
okay. That's weird.
So, good morning, everybody. For those of you who are in hanging out with us as we. Yeah, Facebook changed something because went in to log into the main page and it took me out of Facebook and brought me back in.
Hmm.
So they do what it is they do.
Whatever. The show will go on, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, it's a fun day today because we're gonna be talking about Claudine. Hopefully you've seen it because it's been out since 1974.
Yep, so about
Before I was
48
born.
years.
Right, before I was born. Actually, it would be 49 years, wouldn't it? I don't
It'll
know
be
when
49
exactly it
years
came
old.
out. Yeah. Wow. So if you think about it, movies help tell your age. I posted some other movies because I actually purchased Claudine.
Yeah, I
Um,
saw that.
it was hard to find digitally, which is fine. I don't mind having a DVD. I have Blu-rays and DVDs. I still have a bunch of movies. I just have them in boxes because we moved at one point and I hadn't found the need to set them up because I was digital. But I may need to do that when we find our forever home.
Hmm.
But I did get another movie that wasn't out for a
I'm
very
surprised you
long
didn't have
time.
that one.
Well, it wasn't out for a very long time.
Okay.
And this is Blu-ray, of course, so I got to make sure
Oh,
I get
okay,
the
gotcha.
Blu-ray copy. So, and then this one was forever the hardest one to find. Um, you couldn't find it nowhere for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I got them on Amazon. All of them came from Amazon. So Amazon found where they were at. So if you're looking for it, you can get
Amazon
them.
found where they at. They were at.
Yeah, Amazon. Like somebody said, hey, I can put these out there. We got to figure out what the next movie is for next Saturday.
I know someone gave me two suggestions this morning. Darwin, who's usually on here, he told me to watch in general Lead Belly and Ragtime.
Okay, I remember
He told me to
Ragtime.
watch.
Lead
He
Belly.
was like, watch those for sure. Just make sure you watch those. So I know I told him I was like, we don't. He was like, what are y'all watching next? I was like, I don't know. I said, Michael pick first, and then I'll pick the second one. I said, so I said, I don't know. I said, but he'll probably want us to watch Cooley High since it's his favorite movie.
Yeah, Cooley High, um, Purple Rain, Cooley High, Empire Strikes Back. Um, yeah, I got a lot of favorites, but those are I'd watch those
Mhm.
every time they're on. Purple Rain,
I
Cooley High.
gotcha.
Like I will watch those every time they can just be. It doesn't matter if I own something. I
Mm.
got Purple Rain on Blu-ray, DVD. My parents, that was the first VHS tape they ever bought me when it came out at 25.99 or whatever it was. It wasn't cheap back in those times because
Right.
like $24 now is different than what $24 was back in the 80s.
That was like $50 back in the 80s.
Yeah.
They spent a lot on you.
So when you think about it, right? Because like toys now, right? I'm a collector. They're like they were at $19.99 for a while. They were $7.99 for in the early 2000s, like action figures. Before that, like the little GI Joes and Star Wars were like $3.99, $2.99.
Hmm.
So when you think about it, like, and now they're 24 going on to 30, right? So that inflation is like a monster. Oh my goodness. But that's what happens. Like I'm thinking about like the tickets we paid when we went to the movies. We were like, what, $3? Then it's $5 or something. We were like, oh, can I get $5
Hey,
to go
on
to
an
the movie?
expensive night, it was $3. Shoot.
I mean, then we like when we later on, we was like, well, we didn't get a chance to see the movie when everybody else saw it. So it was at the $2 movie? Because it was at the $2 movie is before it comes out.
Aquarius 4 in Austin, Texas. That was the $2 movie, a dollar movie.
Yeah.
Aquarius 4 in Riverside in
And
Austin,
it'd be
Texas.
packed.
Yeah.
It would be packed.
And then they have one on Wells Branch too. And yep, absolutely. You want to bring us in, Michael?
Yo, you know what? I am going to bring us in. Let me
Bring
get
us
that.
in. Bring
Let me
us
get that
in.
straight. Let me get that, ladies and gentlemen. No. All right, dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to
Thing
watch
called
the black
life.
filmmakers. Now, I had that Prince thing popped in my head from Purple Rain. So let's do what it is that we do. Here we go. Hey, welcome to the Black Filmmakers Lounge. The Black Filmmakers Lounge is where interdependent filmmakers, whether novelists or professionals, come together to gain insight and perspective through education, information, networking, and to discuss industry best practices that will advance the Black interdependent film community. We come together so that in our own space so that we can succeed together. I'm your host, Michael Melvin, and my co-host, Tamira T.K. Henderson, as we come to you guys on this wonderful Saturday morning. It's bright and sunny today. It's been a spring kind of feeling in the DMV where I live. TK's in Atlanta, so I don't know
We
what the
got
weather
rain.
is there.
It's cloudy and we have rain for the next 2 days.
Oh, yeah, we're supposed to get some rain tomorrow. I know there's two cold fronts that were coming in.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
Like every time I think about Baltimore, like it's always cold, and so like I keep saying I'm gonna come up there and visit you guys so I can get some crabs and stuff. And I am going to come. We're gonna have a good, yeah. We're gonna come and have a good writing session. That's what we're probably.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
That'll
we
be
had a
really
look.
good.
Tiffany was like, when we were up Monday night, Tiffany was like, this was long. I said, yeah, this is when you trying to put together.
But if you do this on the front end, if you do that on the front end and it's long on the front end, the writing is so much easier because any gaps or anything, you're basically, they'll be few and far between because you've laid out everything in the beginning. So
And you fill it
it
in.
really, it saves so many hours to do that beat sheet. So many hours.
Mm.
So I'm like, it took me all this time in my career to finally get to an actual beat sheet because I would do a generic outline with all the plot points, and then I would put some of the scenes in. But the last time I did this with a client, that first draft was like that, and
Mm.
I let my reader read it, and she was like, I was like, where are the holes? And she was like, this is a really good first draft. I was like, so beating it out like that, it worked so well. So I'm
Yeah, it
like,
helps
I'm
you
using
smooth.
this every time I write a film, with especially with the client. Let me put it like that because my scripts are a little different, but
Mm-hmm.
especially with the client, beat it out. We're gonna beat it out, and then we write.
Yeah, because like for me, um, we're talking about a film that we're currently working on that where I'm gonna produce and possibly direct. Um, but for me, it was, my thought process is I write the log line first.
Mhm.
That tells the whole story, how it's gonna go down, and then I go through each section looking at the characters, right? Like what's going to happen? What's the theme? What's the what are the conflicts that are going to occur, right? And I always have to think about the different themes, the message I want to send to my audience as they watch it. That comes up, and I know we're not gonna give you names of the film yet. We'll do that later when we're about to get to shooting. But how the themes came out so quick when we were when I was talking to you, because I get on the phone and start bouncing ideas back and forth,
Mhm.
and boom, once that happens, or I have a dream, I have my dream, I wake up in the morning, I start, boom, here we go. So yeah. Hey, good morning, Tone.
Hey, Tone, she's been super busy. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
writing and editing and selling scripts. She sold 3 scripts. So listen, congratulations. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome. I want to be
congratulations.
just like you when I grow up.
Well, I'm gonna be like me. I remember one of the guys I know, when I was a kid. He told me later in life, he was like, "It's Tyler Perry." I said, "No, it ain't. It's Michael Melvin. I'm my
Now
own guy."
that every time, I kid you, even in Atlanta with all these 80,000 filmmakers, some lady on the other day asked me what I did, and I said, I'm a screenwriter and about to shoot my first film, and she was like, Tyler Perry, and I was like it is 872 million black filmmakers, and that's the one question. Like even in Atlanta, where all these filmmakers are, and all these black people, it's like, Tyler Perry. I don't. I said
Yeah.
no, I don't. They were like, oh, okay, yeah, I don't know him.
Speaking of Tyler Perry, now TK, what did you watch this week, or did you get a chance to watch stuff? Because I know you prefer like me on your
I
grinder.
watched RRR this week,
You had three
and
hours and 5 minutes.
it was 3 hours and five, but it didn't feel like it. There's a difference when there's something that's
Mhm.
3 hours and 5 minutes and it feels like it. But I actually stopped the movie a couple of times to take pictures of
Okay.
some camera work. The
Mm.
cinematography was I thought the cinematography was really good, and the way they used the special effects and for post production to mix it in,
Okay.
it didn't look super crazy where it took you out of the movie. Like this don't even look real. We knew it wasn't real. When they tell you at the
Mhm.
beginning it's not real, but the way they used different camera angles and different um
You watched it for 36 hours, or was it yeah, 12 times. That's uh 37 hours. Man, you had about that. Man, Tone, you must have not slept.
Tone's a beast. She's definitely a beast for sure. I'm like, man. I was like, "Ooh, I see why you don't sleep, girl." But yeah, but um I was able to yeah, I stopped the film a couple of times just to take a couple of shots of pictures of some shots. Like I'm like I said, I gotta rewind this back and take a picture. Like I was like,
Hmm.
that looks so the cinematography looked really, really good. They did a really great job on that.
Mm.
And one thing I thought of, I was like, dang, with Netflix, they usually buy out films, I think. And so I was like, dang,
It depends. I think they do lease.
I hope they did because
Yeah,
these
they might
people,
have leased it
when
because
I
I
see,
know. But
mhm,
you know, Netflix is big, like in Africa and other places,
mhm,
and they produce the content. Like they're
mhm,
like 60% of the communication industry in those
mhm.
areas. So while we thinking of American terms, the big pictures happen internationally.
When I turned on the movie to watch it and I seen it, I had posted it, and I seen that that movie had 47 million watch hours
Mhm.
globally in 1 month. I'm telling y'all, that blew me a freaking way. I was like, shut up. I even did the math. 3 hours divided by like I was like almost 16 million people watched that movie in a matter of 1 month.
Mm.
Listen, guys, it's so
Now,
crazy. Mhm.
calculate that to the subscription cost. Like, what's the
Depend
subscription now? I think it's
depends
gonna
on
go
what.
to it's 15.99.
Yeah, I pay 16 right
Yeah,
now.
so 16 times that amount of money, and that's just for that film. Not, you know what I'm saying?
Because they have how many Netflix people how many Netflix subscribers does
Originals.
Netflix have now
Oh man, they gotta be. I couldn't even tell you.
globally?
Yeah,
When you think of
because we're looking
Netflix
at
being
globally. We're
global,
not.
but you know what? And that's the biggest impact of the the streaming platforms that I love is that you're reaching global audiences. So when you put it on Netflix,
Mhm.
people in other countries, you know what I mean? So when you put it in theaters, yeah, it may go international, may not, but now, with the deals they're cutting really are, silver screen and platform. They're
Platforms
connected to a
based,
platform. Yeah.
streaming
So
based. Yeah.
but to understand that people in other countries are watching your stuff on these platforms, I mean, and falling in love with it just like the people next door. I mean, I just love that. I love
Mm.
when I seen that, I'm telling you, it just blew me away. I literally was like, I was like, them people, could you imagine you getting a report like that from a film that you've made? Can you guys imagine that? A film that you made that you were like, okay, I hope it do good. I hope people enjoy it. I hope people love it. And then to find out 16 million people watched it in 1 month. I mean,
And then what do you get? What was your deal? Like you have to look at because you negotiate different the next time around too.
oh,
That's why numbers are important and the
absolutely.
aspect of numbers. Because I think you and I had a conversation early this week. We were talking about Black Panther and how some people were comparing it to Doctor Strange, which came out 2022 March, and Black Panther came out in November 2022, and Doctor Strange had 900 something million, and Black Panther had 800. And you're like, well, wait a second, because they were like, well, Doctor Strange grossed the most in 2022 out of the movies. No, it didn't. If you look at it, November 11th, 2022, going into December, it wasn't even. It was basically a month that it amassed
Right,
800 million. You can't, you got to
right.
think of that, when numbers come into play. So that's what platforms look at. That's what businesses look at, is they're looking at numbers, and platforms numbers turn into subscriptions and views, right? Because
Absolutely.
the more people that view it, meaning the more people they can get on subscribing, want to know more about the show. The more we talk about
Hmm.
it on social media, the more interest we push into it, and people log on or buy a subscription for a period of time, and they see other content. They go, "Oh, I need to watch this," and then boom, there's your generation of money. And the crazy thing is, let's all be honest about platforms, because this is where I app games and platforms are the greatest, smartest hustles out there. I'm gonna tell you why. In-app games, you get the game for free, but if you want to continue
Mm-hmm.
to do well and grow within the game, you purchase things, and you start forgetting how much you're purchasing, and
Mm-hmm.
you can amass thousands of dollars you have spent, not not individual. I mean individuals, thousands of dollars to play a video game. You don't even have to worry about consoles anymore. You get a game
Mm-hmm.
for free, people gonna purchase inside. Console games, they cost you $60, so you might buy something, but these phones, I'm telling you, those games are racking up tons of money, them
Oh,
free games.
I've heard about different people, kids like, oh, I looked at my bill and they had racked up, and the kids are just clicking the button and they got credit card linked to
Mhm.
it, and they just racking up the bills. I'm
So then
like,
take,
ooh,
yeah, so now take the platform, all the platforms we subscribe to, and I'm talking about paid subscriptions, because they give you
mm-hmm,
deals at different times of the year. You got to catch them. Like Stars, they know they're about to drop Power.
mm-hmm,
BMF is on. Boom, Power come out next month, March. You already know the subscriptions are going up. They're gonna offer you a free subscription, but you get a new episode every week. So that 7-day free subscription ain't gonna last you that long. And everybody's on the internet talking about it, so you don't want to miss anything, because now you get all this. And that's where the money comes, because when you think about it, you're getting all this information about a show. You better watch it, because you're gonna have all these spoilers. You
right,
know, um, and so Stars will give you deals. They do like 25 to anywhere from 25 to $60 for 6 months or something like that. Various
mm-hmm,
deals throughout the year. You catch it right, right? Um, Netflix is going up. Disney went up. Um, another company, who else went up? There's a couple companies that just recently went up. Netflix is about to now roll out. They're charging you if you got your Netflix account playing in another house,
mm-hmm,
they're going to send you a thing to put a code in to make sure it's you right then and there. You got 15 minutes to respond.
okay.
And if you don't, they will charge you because it's another person using your account.
How much are they gonna charge me
It's like $3.99 or something like that
for
extra.
the month?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Per month for
per month.
each
Okay,
using, yeah, outside users. It could be, might be higher
that's
than that,
still
but
cheaper
right now
than
it's
somebody
3.99.
else, another household paying $16 a month.
Well, then they gotta contribute to you. I go to Texas and I'm with my parents, so the only two houses that have the Netflix is here and there, because I go between places, and I want my parents to. So I'm like, Netflix better not charge me, because I go between two locations. But if you're traveling, what if you're somewhere else? But again, that's why you got that 15 minutes to respond when they send you a thing, seeing if it's you. But think about it: how many people forget that they're streaming on some type of service they're paying for and neglect it? Because I'll be like this. For a minute, I didn't watch Amazon, but we do have
Mm-hmm,
Amazon Prime. We get all the stuff. But I hadn't watched it. So we were paying for something we really weren't watching. Then Harlem came on. Tiffany's watching that. I'm watching Vox Machina. That's what I watched this week. And Disney Plus, I get through my subscription with Verizon. A
mm-hmm,
lot of your phone, here's the thing I want to tell everybody: a lot of your phone companies have really good deals.
mm-hmm.
I
Oh
know
yeah.
HBO, because we pay for HBO Max, but we're going to switch over to Tiffany because AT&T does HBO Max for free through your phone.
Yeah, I was just gonna say the streaming service. Yeah, because I have ESPN, Hulu, and Disney through Verizon for free.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so, if you got, like, we got two different phone services, because she likes AT&T. I don't know why, but she likes AT&T. I won't leave
Yeah.
Verizon.
Oh yeah.
I like the way Verizon functions. So that's just, but subscriptions. So when you're thinking about your filmmaking, guys, think of subscription services. Think of how, if people subscribe to your content, what if we were charging $2.99 a month for people to stream the Black Filmmakers Lounge? Or and not just the lounge, but other content we would develop and create for filmmakers.
Mm-hmm.
That's, you're not gonna miss $2.99. And if you think like that you'd miss two, because I'll be like this: as a filmmaker, if you're an actual filmmaker and you got an actual business, when all your streaming services should be in your taxes anyway, because you study films, you're using it to research and study and look at the industry. So it's a part of what you do. It's a lot different. It's like when you buy books on filmmaking, it should be in your taxes as a write-off because you're buying to study the film industry in the industry in which you work. Make sense?
Absolutely.
That was one of my
Absolutely.
lines for a character in my first film.
What
Make
did you
sense?
watch this week? Yes. What did you
I
watch this week?
watched The Bad Batch. They had 2 episodes they dropped on Disney
Mhm.
Plus. I watched The Making of Wakanda Forever on Disney Plus. I thought it was great to watch. It's about 40 some minutes to almost to an hour.
Mhm.
And I liked because you saw a lot of the effects. Like I thought when she was stabbed with the spear,
Mhm.
that when Shuri at the end is hit with the spear in her
Mhm.
or the wood, um, I thought that was a digital graphic or, but I didn't know it's something they screwed onto the suit. Like when they were screwing it onto the suit, I was like, wow, that's how that's done.
So
It
they
was,
screwed it onto the suit.
yeah, it was screwed onto the suit. You're watching them twist the spear onto her suit as if it came through her body. And I'm like, wow.
Oh, that's interesting.
Exactly. Because I always like watching behind the scenes, like my most fascinating behind the scenes used to be like Star Wars, because
Mhm.
back in the day, the telephone lines would be above ground and you'd have the wire going and we pick up a rocket, pew, 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 pew. We just going wild on it, trying to figure out different things we can do. And then you learn practical effects, but like, wow, I was like, wow, they sewed a thing onto her suit so they can screw on the spear as if it's coming through her body. I'm like, wow, that's why you need a good effects wardrobe department to work together to do these practical effects. And when we say practical, they're actual effects that happen and not digitally created,
Yeah.
you know, and they look
Yes.
more real when they are practical. That's the thing.
Mhm.
So, and it may not be, digitals can be somewhat expensive because it's time consuming, it's frame by frame, where practical has to just be planned out and can save a lot of time, but it has to be totally planned out and it can work. Um, so yeah, I loved it. Like when I was watching, I was like, man, this is fascinating. Um, so I watched that, and then of course I watched Claudine. I I'll now we can now transition to
We can go ahead
Claudine.
and go into
We
it.
can go to Claudine.
We can go ahead and go into it. It's already
Because everything I
10:30.
watched was all right. I watched Velma. I've been watching Velma. I study stuff. No matter how bad people think something is, it got a second season already. So you got to think of the business, man. Um, yeah, how they did the actual
Yeah, I
underwater
saw that.
acting and everything.
I do want to see the making because I do want to see that underwater thing.
Yeah,
That blew me away watching the movie.
they
But yeah, I
mixed the
saw that
two.
yeah, how Riri auditioned for Shuri. I saw that the
Yeah,
other
like
day.
she did. The reason she got that gig was because she auditioned for the first Black Panther. See how interesting, and
Yeah.
that's where for actors you got to understand. You go in, give them your best. You may not fit the current character they got, but they like you enough. They either write you a character in the current film, or they gonna come back for you later for another project. And she got back into, but she still got in Black Panther, just the next wave.
And she got in a really good in a good she got a good role too. I had that happen to me
And
one time. I
got a
auditioned. I
series.
was in the and got a series. Come on. I was in the final round for a character, and
Mm-hmm.
they ended up going with the lady who actually had the lady in the movie had like 8 kids or something, and this lady really did have 8 kids.
Mm.
So she ended up getting, I think it was down to two of us, two or three. Actually, it was two. I think it was just me and her, and they ended up writing me a role
Oh
in the
wow.
movie.
See?
They wrote me a role in. They were like, "We like you so much, we wrote you a role. We added a role in the movie for you." I was like, "Cool."
Hey, yeah, that's people gotta understand. It's
Mhm.
about forging those relationships and always coming with your professional hat on in mostly every situation you can in this
Right,
industry
absolutely.
or whatever career you're looking at. So speaking of 8 kids, 6 kids. Now we gonna get into this because we watched this movie. I gotta bring this thing in. Hold up.
Nominees for Best Actress are
What did it say?
that
nominees for Best Actress are
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna go ahead and smooth over the transition because, bam, we watch Claudine. Oops, moving a little fast, a little head. All right, so it's Black Movie Month because it is Black History Month, and we are talking about all these wonderful films that we have been watching for the month. So, you know, one of the best soundtracks, by the way. Too bad I can't play the music because I don't want to get hit on YouTube and Facebook and stuff. Then they gotta take this video down. But
That's the
but
theme music from that Chevy Impala, that drop top Chevy Impala. Did anyone else get a chance to watch it, or has anyone else seen Claudine? Just in the future or last week, or did anyone else get a chance to watch it?
so we hope you
Directed John
guys.
Barry, writers Tina Lester and Tina Pine, producers J. Lloyd Grant, Dick Diabon, and Hannah Weinstein.
Yeah, when I saw Hannah Weinstein, I was like,
I saw Hannah Weinstein. I said,
hmm.
oh, that's
Listen,
interesting.
film legacy. You know, we got to remember film legacy, and um, that's where I think about us.
Hmm.
We got to build film legacy. You see the two different covers. Now I'm going to tell you a shock that I had. I was yesterday old, or the day I watched it old, when I realized that this was a comedy versus a drama.
Mm,
I laughed at scenes, but I felt certain things. So I would have saw Claudine as a romantic drama
right.
story versus a comedy. Because yes, dramas things are funny. There's a lot of stuff that's said that are funny and everything, but I didn't see it as a like comedy like Eddie Murphy, and I saw it more as a story um about our people at certain levels of life, low income, struggling. Um, and it's deep because my mom, her mother went through some of these things.
It's just
It's
crazy.
real for people.
I've heard about it, but to see it play out, that was
Mm-hmm.
good. To see it, and 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 I mean, where do you start? Like
Mm.
first of all, it was the baby all over James Earl Jones for me. That part, I was like, he is really glistening, like
like
he was shining.
like Jamal and I, we used to make jokes. Is your mama home? Because
As to, but you know what, and the way he pulled up for that first date, I was
Mhm.
like, that is how you come pick up a woman. Like
So
nowadays, it's Netflix and chill. You want to drive by, like baby, he swooped up in there, dressed with that hat on, with that drop top. I said, baby, that's how you pick up a woman.
yeah, he was
Um,
smooth. James Earl Jones was smooth. And you know
he
what?
was
It was
smooth.
the
I got
chemistry
hot water.
was interesting. You know what I mean? Yeah, because in the story itself was um unique because the conversations and the dialogue were very deep, right? They were deep in a sense that these are the same things that happen to our people today, with
Yeah,
the
and that's the
exception of the
thing.
welfare change.
That was the thing, but I tell you what, the kids, the chemistry between those kids and that
Mhm.
mama.
Oh yeah.
And the kids arguing with each other and fighting each other, and even the little bitty girl.
Oh
I
yes.
mean, those kids killed it. They freaking
Slapping each other.
killed. They were slapping the crap out of each other. I said, I wish you would slap my child. So
Your little
they,
boy
I
was
mean,
like, when they slap me, you don't do nothing. But you a man.
no, it don't matter. You still don't supposed to
Yeah.
be slapping each other. So I
Yeah.
felt him on that. But the chemistry between those kids and
Mm-hmm.
her as the mom, and then him coming in the chemistry. But you know what I really loved is how the shots, the 2 shots, the 3 shots, and they were even getting shots of him when they were sitting. He was sitting on the couch, and the kids were behind
Behind
him.
him, around. Yeah.
All 7 of them were in the shot, and then Claudine walks in. I mean, the shots they got, those they did a lot of 2 shot. They did a lot of 2 shots and dirty 2 shots and stuff like this
Mm-hmm.
one. Look at
Yeah.
that, like them 2 and the 5 kids in the background. I mean, they did a lot of. You have more pictures of the shots too.
Yeah.
Um,
When we talk
the
about the
camera work,
cinematography and camera, yeah.
yeah, the camera work was very good, very good. And I mean, yeah, I really that movie was so good. I cried at the end. The movie was so good. Yeah, I cried. I was
All
like,
right.
oh, I
The
cried on the
ending,
last scene.
the
Not the last
complete
scene, the scene
ending
before last.
throws me off a little bit. And
Yes, it
we'll
does.
talk about how it does, but then that's where I get, oh, it's a comedy, right? But I mean, it was good. So I'll put it like this. The theme and the story, it's a romantic film about a mother with 6 kids on welfare. Diane Carroll was not the original person to play that part, but the original person ended up, I think, either dying of cancer or something, so she couldn't take the part. So Diane was already second in line anyway.
Wow.
Right? And they kind of paid homage to her. Darrell said, every time I see it, I think of Joe Jackson.
Okay.
Y'all are
That's
funny.
out.
All right, so
Wow.
and look, Jacoby said you a punk, DK.
No, Jacoby. Okay, we'll get to that one scene I cried on. It was just so touching. Anyway,
All
we'll
right.
get to that. But keep going, Michael.
So the fact that they paid homage, right? That's powerful. And Diane Carroll and won an NAACP award for it, nominated for it for Academy Award, right?
And Golden Globe.
Golden Globe. So, but here's the list of all these actors. And we're familiar with James Earl Jones. He played Roop, was what she called him. Diane Carroll as Claudine. Like, I'll be like this. Diane Carroll, very beautiful. Always like Diane Carroll growing up. The thing was, I love the fact that they could make her look homely with all her beauty.
Yes, they did. They did pull her down.
The only other movie I always account for that was Losing Isaiah. I was like, man, they had Halle Berry. Jungle Fever and Losing Isaiah had Halle Berry tore up.
And bruised. Now bruised.
Yeah.
She tore up and bruised too.
So, of course, I never really cared about Monsters Ball, so that wasn't my thing. But I Losing Isaiah gave me the Halle Berry thing because up to then I had liked her in Strictly Business, right? But Lawrence Hilton Jacobs, Cochise, my boy, because is every time I see him, that's the hardest thought to get out my brain is in Cooley High. Because I like Cochise and Cooley High. Preach Cochise was the coolest in Cooley High. And but to see him in this and as the oldest son and what he does, oh my goodness, the message sent by what he does. Since everybody should have seen this, we're gonna do spoiler alert. We're gonna
spoiler
really
alert.
Deep.
Now it was
deep.
Paul running there pulling off the cover for me.
Oh, that was funny. Paul walked in that room. He was like, I just want to see. You all right? Said, get out the room. He snuck over there. Yanked them sheets of red.
And he yanked that cover off so cool. I ain't been at that room. Them kids, I'm telling y'all, though all 6 of those kids did the doggone thing.
Yeah, the kids brought it alive. Like you felt it because with the kids and her
Yeah,
interaction.
that kid, they made it feel so real. Like the kids' interaction made everything feel so real. And then her daughter, Lurleen broke
Mhm.
down when she said that she was nothing and she felt like nothing. And oh my God, it was just like. And then the other little boy talking about he invisible.
Oh, that was powerful because when he
Ooh,
handed him the drawing, said, "Let me see what you drew," and he said, He talked about the family and
a
the
mama,
house
a
and
daddy,
everything. And he
and a
said,
house.
and he pulled. And he said, "Wait, there's nothing on the picture." He said, "They're invisible." Like, yo, because before that, his whole conversation was how he felt invisible.
That was.
Right? I'm telling you, if y'all haven't watched this, you gotta
It
watch
was
it
y'all
because
guys. This movie
that
was so
dialogue.
freaking good. I ain't even lying. The dialogue was just like I said. It felt so real. And
Mhm.
then when the welfare lady came and they had to hide their stuff because I
So
heard like
that
when
was
they
real
come
too.
they
That's
would
real.
they would deduct. But then she was like, "You've been keeping a man." One of the neighbors said, "You got a man coming over." She was like, and she
Say my
said, "Well, how
baby.
is that all he gave you is $2.50 worth of stuff?" She said, "How much do you charge?" I said, "Ooh."
Right, because she was asking her, do y'all deduct when you got the stuff you enjoy in life, TV, all that? But that's real. Let me tell you, that's
That's so crazy.
my mother shared that history with me. And I say this. When I was younger, my mom said the reason she fought so hard to get where she is in life was because the welfare people would come to my grandmother's house and they would go through everything. And even if you're my grandmother, my mom, my grandmother, my mother is the oldest daughter
Mhm.
in her family. Um, they would come. My grandmother cleaned people's houses. She had a white family's house. She cleaned. They both picked cotton. And my mom would say, the welfare people would come. They'd go through your house. There was a time, her mom would say, "Hide this, hide that, put this over here." So because just somebody giving you an iron is considered a luxury, but you gotta iron your clothes. Having a toaster oven to toast bread is considered a luxury.
And she
A
literally, when she
lamp.
said she pulled out the beer and she said
Mhm.
it was 6 of them and I got 2 left. And so the lady was writing down what to deduct. She
Yeah,
said,
she's
and
writing
then
it
you can
down.
deduct
Yeah.
it. I said, shut. That was the craziest thing. So when she said, talk about the man coming around, and she was like, that's
Mm-hmm.
none of your business. She was like, who I date and who I see. Well, it is my business
Then
because
she
what if
asked
he's
her,
giving you
"Well, who you
stuff?
dating?"
And she said, that's none of your business. She said, oh, yes, it is. If you're like, I was like, this is freaking crazy. But her talking about his kids. But remember, he mentioned, he said, when he went through the crisis about getting that, wanting, having to pay the extra money and the garnishment for his paycheck and how am I going to
Mm-hmm.
live off this? But then
Yep.
he said, maybe I'll just change states and change my name. And so many back in the days when they would get in trouble in one town, they would be sent to another state where did
Mm-hmm.
nobody know them and they would start over. And it was so rampant. So when he said that, it was like, yep, that's exactly
That's how
what
they
they
do it.
did. But he was paying child support. They
Right.
just
He
wanted
was
him to be paying
paying,
more.
but and that's the crazy part because he had a job, they wanted more, and he was already paying. The other thing is the women on the bus when they had those conversations, like, wow, again, 1974, this movie was released, not made, but released, right? Um, the last movie we talked about during this time period, you see the
Mhm.
pattern, ain't nothing changed.
And then when they were talking about going to work, and it's crazy because in Texas, here is a little different. I think Georgia's a little different, but in Texas, so many women, they would decide not to work because if they worked even part-time, their Medicaid and their Medicaid would be cut and the dental for their children.
Mm.
So instead of me making $8 an hour, you can just call me lazy because if I go make this $8 an hour, you cut my food stamps, my dental. and my health care for my kids.
And
And so
remember,
when they were asking her, did she work? She was like, no, nope, I
right.
don't
And
work.
remember when she said, I still haven't got my food stamps. And then now I get my food stamps are getting canceled because I neglected to use them, but I ain't get them yet. When she was talking to the lady. And when they went into the welfare office, because they were going to get married, they were talking about the marriage aspect of it and him being with her. Things were like, this is a fraud if you do this. This is a fraud. It was like the system itself is a fraud.
Then they were like,
Because
if you do this, then we got to report your stuff. If you marry her, you got to report your stuff. And if you lose your job, you have to apply for welfare and you this and you that. He was just like,
right. And it was so powerful because that's why I always saw Claudine as a drama, because it talked about the message of oppression to Black people trying to rise up was so prominent in there, because it didn't matter what you did to try to come up. They always felt the way to hold you down, even when they're supposed to help you get up.
mm-hmm.
And that's how the welfare system looked for our people when you really look at it at that time. And so I don't know when it changed that they didn't come to your house and walk through your stuff and check everything, or I don't know if they still do it. But it's interesting that that's happened, and you wonder the generational impact of it. That's why this movie is so powerful on so many levels. You saw the generational impact. And here's the thing. It's common today, people paint a picture that having so many kids is a bad thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we got to stop and think for it. How do we grow generations? How do we keep our legacies? And when he had a vasectomy, the older son, when mom broke it down, like, so now you messed up thinking you was doing something, but so you can't have a legacy. That was powerful.
Man, it was, one got a vasectomy and one ended up pregnant. So
Yep.
like, she got a vasectomy, she ended up pregnant. Like, that was crazy. But the scene I cried on, Jacoby, is when he felt like, so James Earl Jones had finally committed to doing whatever, even bucking the welfare system, because he loved Claudine and the kids and he wanted to marry her. And so when he got the court papers that he had to pay more, he realized he could not take care of himself and her, because that's the man's biggest thing. Most men, I'm gonna say, well, let me say a man's, not a
He said
boy,
in the movie he's a
not a
breadwinner.
boy child, but a man. His thing is to make sure he can provide for his family. And so when that happened, he pulled away because he was so hurt that he just ghosted her because he was not able to provide. And so when the older son went looking for him, because he had warned him, if you hurt my mama, them
For every
tears
tear,
she
you a
cried,
quart of
there's gonna
blood.
be some blood. So it's gonna be some blood for them tears if my mama shed some tears over you. So he went and looked for him to fight him, and he was telling him, he was kind of, I don't think he really told him, but he told him, he said, you tell her yourself. You tell her yourself. So when he went to the house drunk and he pulled up and Claudine came outside and got in the car to talk to him, because all the kids had did this big old Father's Day thing for him, because they,
Mhm.
Started seeing him as a father
They started
figure.
seeing him, yeah.
So when he didn't show up, everybody was hurt. Of course, when you bring your kids into a situation, and that's a whole nother story about kids and people you
Relationships.
date. That's a whole different story. So anyway, so when he pulled up, she got in the car, excuse me, and then all the kids came outside. And when he was saying how he couldn't provide for them and saying this stuff, and it was so, the little girl and Claudine is just listening to, because as a man, he's just telling why, he's just telling why he
Mhm.
can't be with her and the kids
Right.
because of his lack. And so the little girl, the baby girl, says, well, it's only four of us now because Charles and Lucille are moving out.
No.
And I was just
Mhm.
like, oh. And then the other little boy says, I don't eat much. And I was like, oh
No, but
my
the
God.
little girl, after he said that, his food is invisible. Yeah, that
Yeah,
was.
she said, his food is invisible. That was hilarious. But for all of them to tell him Like, don't worry about that. We got this together and we love you
Mhm.
and we accept you for who and what you don't have. Look, I'm crying now. Sorry, Jacoby. That was so freaking beautiful. I was just like,
But that's
I
a
was
message even of today, because we let society paint what a man is. Like, oh, man's a provider. He has to be able to take care of a family. Providing isn't a financial thing,
like,
because having a father figure present who is
mhm.
actually engaged in helping you is
Yes.
very much more important than a lot of things we think it is. And it is so powerful. I'm gonna paraphrase this quote I saw the other day.
Hmm.
It said, I'm gonna say this in a nicer way. Forget having the baddest or the richest. You better find somebody who really cares about you.
Absolutely.
See, we get caught up in
Absolutely.
money. Money come and go. Money is a divisive thing created by society. You know. Um Jacoby said, see, you better toughen up.
I have thick skin, Jacoby, but I do have a heart, sir. I do have a heart.
So,
Uh,
and
yes,
it's interesting.
absolutely.
So, real quick, Darrell said, I thought it was a drama too. I guess today it would be considered a dramedy. Yeah, but you know what? It was considered a romantic comedy. And because there's a thing where Robert Townsend's talking about it too,
Hmm.
how the movie impacted him. And he said he could relate because his mother was a single mother of 4 kids. And so the connection that people had to this film, um, it's still, like I said, the thing is, y'all aren't going back and researching and looking at our older films, even the films that we created during the Black exploitation time period and all that. We need to study what we were doing, because here's the crazy thing: during that time period, Melvin Van Peebles dropped this movie. People were like, "Oh, he
Hmm.
can't make it." Might drop the movie. What did Hollywood do? Clone. They came in and cloned because they saw the success we were having doing our own thing without them. And that's where we get lost. We our power is in our creativity and our content we create. And such a powerful message in this film on so many levels. The
Hmm.
fact that it was a romantic film and the kids was getting on her. Don't bring no other kids in this house. There's
Them
enough of us
kids,
now. Yo.
baby. But let me tell you something. Them kids was on it. Who was he? Who was he? Now who was he?
Mhm.
What? And when they wouldn't let him in, they said, "Well, did you hear the bell?" He said, "We ain't hear no bell."
Yeah, and
And
then
they
he
went
said, "Let me
over
get
the
ice
door
cream."
more.
He's like, "Oh, I don't hear no bell. Do you?"
But
She's
they were
like, "I
because
don't
they
hear
were
bell."
protected. They were protective over their mom. Absolutely. That doesn't change.
And then the kid got it. He was like, I get the point. Yeah,
Yeah,
next
he
time I
was
ring the
funny.
doorbell, you better answer the door. He was funny. The fact that he
He
was
was
leaving
funny.
school, skipping school, he's out there gambling, playing
Paul, yeah,
dice.
Paul was out literally out
Um,
there gambling.
yeah, Paul was
Paul
that
was something
guy.
else.
So
Look at that
cinematography
shot right there.
wise,
Look at that two shot right there.
oh yeah.
Look at that three shot at the top where Paul is faded out in the picture. Baby, listen.
Yeah.
They had some really, really good shots in this thing.
Yeah. The color scheme was well thought out, the emotion that was put into it. Um, I mean, look at that. Yeah, those are beautiful shots.
Those were some beautiful
Lighting,
shots.
right? Um, bam,
Another two
always
shot. That
got the
one, look,
kids.
that one
And
with all the kids. Every time they would get the kids, they were able to. I know that. Thank you, Jacoby. Thank you, Jacoby. They would get all the kids, and that's a compliment I needed. Thank you. They would get all the kids. Like I said, even when James Earl Jones was sitting in that on the couch, and all the kids were around him, they got all like, and it was like I was like, they did. Look at him, baby. He was too funny. Uh, but yeah, it was really good. I
yeah,
really
Thomas Carter
enjoyed this
said we
movie.
need more films like that.
Hey, Thomas.
Hey, how you
Yes.
doing, Thomas? Guys,
And the editing was really good too. When I
it
think
was
about it now, it just flowed.
it flowed it moved, it paced very well,
Yes.
it moved kind of quick. Well, here's where it moved quick. It wasn't the editing that moved it quick. It was a story. Because here's the thing. The first date, he takes her. He's like, "Hey, I don't care. You got 6 kids. Go ahead, go home. We get in the house, take a shower. I'll wait for you. I got this restaurant for you and everything." But then they end up going back to his place. Right?
It was
And
the
she's trying not to
fast.
sleep with him at first. He's like, I ain't trying to sleep with you. That's why I was like, is this
I know
PG?
she did sleep with him kind of fast,
I,
but
I was like, is this PG? This can't
but
be
it,
PG because I'm
it was
seeing
in
stuff.
there cleaning that tub for me. He was scrubbing that tub, and he said, "You want a bubble bath?" She said, "Yes," and he
He pulled
squirted
the joy out. That boy pulled the
that
joy
that
out.
dishwasher liquid out. I say, "Come on, somebody, I got you.
The lemon fresh liquid joy. I
I
don't know if
got
y'all remember
you."
that from back in the day.
Oh my God, I loved it. He ran that bath water for her. I loved it. And he was in there sleeping, just waiting for her,
Look,
waiting for her. He finally was like,
he was talking
Claudine, are
about
you okay? She in there sleeping.
roaches and mice. Like the mouse came out. Milton, the mouse.
He said, "Get out of here. We got company."
Company
We got
threw
company.
the shoe at Milton.
When the rat came, when the mouse crossed the floor.
Man, look. But see, that's where you look at these films and you're like, man, that's good storytelling, right? And the romantic connection they had because they were connecting and it seemed like they were having a disconnect because they started arguing a little bit. But he was like, nah, because they enlightened something in each other.
Yes.
And that's what they were bringing out because their scenes were. Here's the thing about script writing. We got to talk about this for the film. Every scene has some sort of conflict.
Mm-hmm.
But
it doesn't have to be big conflict. It could be like, would you like sugar in your coffee? No. That's a conflict. So keep going.
Yeah. And so when they're eating dinner, when they're supposed to have dinner together, he gets served at the door. And as soon as he reads that thing, he's slamming the plates down. He lets her see it. And he tells her, I make this. And he starts he had the tears coming out, Jacoby. James
Earl Jones was crying, Jacoby.
The pain he was feeling. And she comforted him. Mm-hmm. But her comfort still didn't feel like enough. And it wasn't because remember in that conversation, the kids are throwing you a Father's Day thing. And he's like, I already take care of my kids. And I send money and all this stuff. And they garnished, he got the work, they garnished his wages. That man was gone. He had quit his job, everything. He was like, forget this.
Because he was trying to do what was right. He's taking care of his kids. He wasn't even seeing his kids, but he was taking care of his kids, because of course it's not like it is today, but he was taking care of his kids, paying child support. He's about to marry a woman that he loves with 6 kids. He's doing the right thing. He's working. He's bucking the welfare system. And then all of a sudden he gets slapped in the face.
He was doing his best not to be on welfare.
Absolutely.
To survive without it. And because you get locked in. When he's at their welfare, he was talking about they lock you in because everything's a fraud. You get a job, it's a fraud. You got to report it, they ain't gonna help you no more. But if it doesn't cover all the bills and you ain't making enough, then it was like, didn't matter. It was always, he caught the catch-22 and then he had her on board. She's like, fraud. When they go out that thing.
Fraud, that's right. That's fraud. It was like, God dog it. But yeah. So great movie, guys.
Oh, yeah.
It was really great. Definitely a must watch.
Yeah, cinematically, cinematography, like you're seeing these images here, it was good. Beautiful. They were great at good group shots. The emotional feeling was there because I just like we've been watching movies long enough that we already know what's gonna happen. But when the daughter's like Abdullah, you're like, oh, shucks, she gonna get pregnant. Because they give you the foreshadowing. They let you know.
He's trying to teach me to meet people and hold my liquor.
Ain't no man trying to teach you all your liquor, baby.
Listen, when she said that he trying to teach me to meet people and hold my liquor. Oh my God, that was done.
But yeah, I mean, it was Claudine, if y'all got time, Black History Month, I know tomorrow's Super Bowl Sunday,
before even
watch it 90 minutes. You know what? A quick 90 minutes. It flowed
It
so
was a quick
fast.
90 minutes.
Yeah, it
Yes.
was a quick 90 minutes. The only thing that threw me off was the very end. Because the police were pulling the kids onto the thing as this movie. I was like, why are the police helping the kids out, getting them on? Like, come on.
Because the director told them to.
Yeah. And
So
you
they
can
can all
see
be
the
together
guy
as a
running
family. But
behind
they
the
were
thing
like,
filming.
she said, that's my husband. And then that ain't mama. And it's like, it's a whole family affair. That was so funny.
And the police was just helping them on the
That was
paddy wagon.
definitely a
They're just
plot
helping them
twist.
on.
That was a big
And
plot
that's the
twist.
only thing that threw me off. But then I was like, it's a comedy because, the next scene after that, you had, I got to go back. The next scene right after that, you had this.
Them walking down the street
Yeah,
together.
they're all walking down the street together. And so they done been on a police paddy wagon and they coming out together walking down the street.
They
And
made it through the storm together. There you go. Come on, somebody.
And here's the thing, because when Charles was protesting, it made sense. They were protesting against welfare and having more jobs. That's why I said you had social commentary built into this film so much, but it was also self-reflecting because they were so ashamed. Like the older daughter was like, I ain't gonna be nothing. I ain't nobody because I'm poor.
That was so sad.
Every kid thought they were not gonna amount to anything. The youngest, the littlest boy was like, I'm invisible.
All was like, I'm not going to school. I'm just going to hustle, make money.
Be a hustler, be a pimp, gambler. Yeah. He's like, you got to know math. He came in, James was beating them in craps. Bam.
That was funny.
And then he broke it down. He said, so what'd you start off with? And the kid broke it down. He said, get your butt to math class. Like,
baby, he broke that whole thing. I had 35 cents. I started with 35. Then I doubled it. And then I did it. And then I tripled it. He said, you didn't add it, multiplied, divided, and subtracted. Get your butt to class.
Oh, man.
But he gave that push he needed. So he became that father figure. So when he started doing that, I was like, he's having a heart for the kids. That's when I knew he was a keeper.
Right. And that's what it's about. Yeah.
He's starting to engage with the kids.
Now, there's the welfare lady. She was, she's coming. She's like, you get a bottle of wine, I get 6-pack. Yo.
Baby. Yeah. Them doggone kids. I'm telling you, I absolutely love them kids.
Yeah, the kids, they set the tone for the story so much.
They should have got best ensemble like a mug. Like,
yeah, they had the best group. There they are when he's gambling, when Paul's gambling. And Charles is talking to his mom. So Claudine, and he's getting on her. He's like, it's your fault if you get your heart broke. And the thing when she says, when her daughter says, do you love him? She says, I don't.
Because she was scared to open her heart because she's been hurt. She said she was married twice and engaged, almost married two times. So she done been through 4 hard relationships. And that's, that stands today. So many people are scarred from relationships. And this one young girl, I'm gonna have to grab my laptop charger. I did forget one thing. But this one girl, she was telling me, I think I'm too young to get married, and she's 21. And I said, so when do you get married? I said, after you done been through all these relationships, been scarred, have to heal, have to go, have to have trust issues. I said, so when are you ready? Like when you go through all of that and allow yourself to be torn down, and you got to build yourself back up. I'm getting me back. I like, when do you, and then you're ready for marriage after you done went through all of this? What's the purpose? If you're dating anyway, you might as well be dating with a purpose.
Yeah. And the message in here was deep, and she didn't shun her kids. Like and it's interesting because they learned that they misunderstood her. Charles realized he misunderstood her because he thought he was doing something, getting a vasectomy at such a young age. And she's like, no, you don't ruin the fact that you can have a legacy. You letting them win.
Yep.
And it's so powerful how they all saw it and see it. So if you haven't seen this movie, I'm not gonna pull your card. No, but I will say that you gotta see it. Study it, break it down. It's a romantic comedy, but it talks about a lot of social issues that still happen today. And it's very powerful when we talk about that. And like earlier, Darrell said, hey, we don't have a lot of stories that show that type of black love anymore.
I
And
wrote. That's why I wrote one because I wanted to see one.
hmm and
I
so
might have wrote a couple. Right, a couple of them.
like Thomas said, we need more films like that.
Absolutely.
And because we give them everything else about us, we drug dealers, we gangsters and everything. And I get it, we're not monolithic, but when people see us, because here's the thing, our filmmaking is our power of storytelling and getting to
Right.
people to see how human we are. And we don't have to tell them. They should already know we're human. But the unfortunate part is we still need to tell our authentic stories, because this was someone's experience. This was somebody's life during that time period, or in the 60s.
Shoot, still now.
Still, yeah.
A
Still
lot of this
happening now.
a lot of this relates now. A lot of these films relate now.
So we gotta, here's some more shots from the film. Like we said, the
There go that
cinematography.
bubble bath.
That's
He
the
scrubbed
bathtub.
that good. Look at that 5 shot down there. Look how the kids are lined up.
When they're in the kitchen, oh my goodness, they're funny in the kitchen.
Baby,
Those
them kids are so funny to me. When he burnt that cheese toast, he said, I forgot I was making a cheese sandwich. I forgot it.
I was mad because I was like, wait, they had the thing plugged up to the light? Wait,
Yes.
what?
And he was gonna stick that fork up in that mug, baby. He was finna set everybody up. He said, I was making a cheese sandwich and I forgot it. That was so funny to me. Oh, that was so funny. Them doggone kids.
And it's interesting because we didn't even
again
see,
just to see the kids. I ain't even lying.
we didn't
Just
even
to see
see Rupert buy her the toaster, but he replaced it.
Yes, that
We
really
didn't
nice.
see, because he bought it. She was breaking it down to the welfare line. But we never saw the scene where he gives her a toaster, or when he gave her. We saw him when he picked up that lamp out the trash thing.
Right.
But
And we didn't have to, because that's the thing about,
he
I
knew
tell my
what he was
clients
going to
too.
do.
You don't have to dumb down like I have a client, he shows the son walking home in the dark 8 times. I'm like, we got it the first time. Like, you don't have to show him walking in the dark every single time. We got it the
Something
first time.
happens. Like the first time we understand he walks in the dark. If we see somebody walking in the dark a second time, that means something's going to happen to them, or they're in a different thought process than they were before the first time we met them in the dark.
Yeah, that's good, Darrell. Absolutely.
What
Yeah,
do you
I'm
say?
telling you. Mine is
There
the
you
positive male black image. I'm making sure even in Jade, I got, I have positive male black images in her life. In some area of her life, even when the man finds her,
Right.
at the part, Darrell, Michael don't know yet, but when the man finds her, he literally goes and gets a jacket out of the car and covers her, or a little blanket and covers her. So
Well, even for
showing
me,
those positive images all the time for me.
I like to show us at a level of middle class, because it's always possibilities, right? There's enough films where we have low income earning black people. That's like tons of films. But the more we show us in middle class and upper middle class and wealth,
Right.
and even in wealth, we can't have the same issues, right? Everyone has similar issues, but everybody doesn't cheat. That's not what messes up a marriage. Right. Every marriage isn't messed up because of finances, although it happens, right? Some marriages are a child dies. Some marriages get messed up because they're on 2 totally different pages at this point in life. One wants more, one's comfortable, or doesn't have ambition, and can't see, they're not on the same page. So, and then people reconcile, people fix the situation. They get to a point where they feel like they're at their low, but they start to remember what got you here in the first place. And because again, people do have their highs and lows in any relationship. They do have their moments where they think something isn't working and they try to fix it, or, it's just going to keep going down a rabbit hole. So I like telling stories that are about us, but I like
Mm-hmm.
showing marriages. Like, I think we see enough films of us dating. What
Mm-hmm.
about us being married and
Absolutely.
staying married?
Absolutely.
I'm gonna give you a perspective. Um, there's enough films about our younger people. When I say younger, I'm talking about that 20 to 30, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when we look at 40 to 60, how many black films do we have? Now we got people getting in their 40s, 45s, but how many? If you think about it, there's a movie right now, 80 for Brady.
Oh, I can't wait to see that.
Tiffany just told me she wants to see it.
It looks so freaking funny.
But I years ago when I first started dating my wife, we went to the movies to see a movie called Hope Springs. Hope
Mm-hmm.
Springs was about an older couple. Um, I'm talking about like in their late 50s, 60s, going through the possibility of divorce. And they
Oh
decided to
wow.
go through counseling, right? And Tiffany and I watched it because it's, you don't see movies about, and it's a white film. And it was a good movie. Um, but you're like, I always say, well, who else could have played in this? And that's why it's so important that we start looking at what other stories can we tell?
Mm-hmm.
Because are we aiming towards? I just sent the trailer out to TK and Jamal, a couple people. It was a trailer about a woman trying to find who that lost hope in dating, and she's older, like in her 60s, gray hair,
Yes.
right? And she starts to date the pastor, and she owns a shop, and it's a clean film, but it's, to me, it's that not commonly told type of story. And that's why it would be successful if it's in the right,
Mm-hmm.
gets the right audience,
Absolutely.
right? And you can enjoy it. So we always got to think about that. So when I think about Claudine, like it's a romantic film, right? Excuse me, it was supposed to be PG. I don't know how, because
Not
Diana
showing
Carroll's
James Gerald
legs.
Jones' naked body.
But you know what they did? Let me tell you how good they were. They selectively picked shots that hit things.
Oh, they did good. They did good at
I
hiding the
was like, yo,
shots.
that is so smooth.
They did good at
You
hiding the
knew they
shots.
were naked.
Yep.
Like literally they were naked. But the way they shot it in such a way in this film, you ain't see it. You saw it, but you didn't see it. And I
Uh-huh.
thought, wow, that's just powerful. You know what I mean? Um,
Yeah, Tanae said she has one about 50 plus dating, still working on the cast.
there you
Good.
go.
There you go. So yeah, no, it was good. I really, really enjoyed
All
it.
right, so I got before we moved out, I got one
Uh-huh.
more. I gotta show y'all this right here. Oh, I didn't know this was there. But this right here, when they on the bike, that took me back. If you ain't sat on no handlebars before, you ain't lived.
That's how I lost my front tooth sitting on those handlebars right there.
My
That's
older
how I lost
brother and
my
I
front tooth.
crashed the bike.
I lost my front tooth sitting on those handlebars. So yes, it brought back memories for me for sure.
And they done drove through, I think it was in Chicago. I can't remember where they were. But they done drove
Oh,
through the
cool.
whole city to get to where Rupert lived
Baby,
on a bike like that through traffic.
I like, you know what I liked about that, because it was showing their heart for him too, and that, they wanted to really find out themselves what happened. And so they didn't just pop up at his door. They showed them on a journey
To get
to
to him.
go to his house. Yes. And I
Because
was
they were
like,
supposed to just go outside and sit on the stoop outside in the front.
baby, they took that bike. I don't know how that bike showed up, because I had never seen that bike before, but it showed up.
Oh no, he pulled it out the house. He came.
No,
When
I'm
they were
saying that
leaving
was the
out.
first time I seen the bike
Oh yeah,
in the
yeah,
whole
yeah, yeah.
movie. It just appeared. But baby, they pulled that bike out, and I was like, where are they going? I was like, are they finna go? And then they just kept
Yeah.
going and going. I said, oh.
Oh, I
So
knew they
that,
were
I
going to the
love
house when I
that.
said, yeah.
Because Charles, those men, and their mom. So Charles went after him. The two boys went to look for him.
They wanted to see why he was gone, why he wasn't there, like if he was okay.
They really wanted
They
to
asked
see.
the girls, they said, you sure he's okay? Did you call? And when she called and that number was turned off, and then the boys showed up to the house to find out he moved,
He was gone.
like that was like, that was powerful.
Yeah, that
So
was good.
the last thing we gotta talk about this film, because it's a good story, great cinematography, timely themes that still happen today, right? The impact of jobs in our community, um, being stuck on a system that tries to hold you back from moving forward, how we see our family, our mothers, fatherhood in America, black fatherhood, not just regular father, but black fathers, the lack of or the need for. Um, but the
Oh yeah,
soundtrack,
soundtrack.
the soundtrack. Now to know that Gladys Knight, but the songs is written by Curtis Mayfield, you already know.
And they performed. Gladys Knight and the Pips performed all the songs for the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So that was
Basically,
really good.
it was like Prince did for Purple Rain and Batman. He did all the songs, remember? Because Prince did the Batman album. That's why y'all like Batman with Michael Keaton so much. You didn't realize
Oh
it was
wow,
Prince.
didn't know that.
But yeah, this was the album. Like, it was funny because Robert Towson was like, I hadn't really bought any albums, he said, but I went out and bought this album after seeing the movie. And in movie soundtracks were big. Like Cooley High has one of the best soundtracks for a movie. Like I can never forget that. I remember every song because of that. And this one, Gladys Knight and the Pips. Like, if you didn't think they could bring it, this was it. So it was the perfect movie in a
It
sense
was
because
great.
it had good storytelling, great cast ensemble. Like I said, I thought it was a drama because of what it talked about and what it addressed in the film. But it was funny because there was so many punchlines and so many things delivered by the kids alone and then by the couple.
Baby, them
Um, a great
kids.
message, and then lovely cinematography, great shots, great group shots. Because here's the other thing
Tight
too.
space because they were in a tight space
I
each
was
time.
wondering, did they shoot it in the studio or did they actually shoot it in an apartment? Because you had to have a small camera to be in such a tight space to get such group. So that means they use a lot of wide angle lens.
So what I was thinking, the reason why I thought it might have been made in the studio is because you remember when we were at his house
Mm-hmm.
and we were crossing the wall. So like we were showing him in one room and we showed him walk to the next
Oh,
room
I
and
gotta
we
go
were
back there.
crossing the
I didn't think
wall.
about crossing the wall.
That's what
I
made
gotta
me
go look
think
at
that it
that
was done in the studio. Her
because
apartment, I didn't see that, but his apartment, I did.
oh yeah. All right, have a good day, Tone.
Okay, Tony.
Congratulations on your scripts.
Yes, congratulations on the assignment. Have a good one.
So yeah, no, I got to think about it because I was wondering, was it a studio, right? Because it did feel like controlled environments, but they feel like they shot outside of it as well. The nighttime shots were very well done as well. Yeah, man. When of course they smoked cigarettes a lot in the movie. I was like, wait, they smoked in this? My childhood got foggy for a second, but I was like, wait, they smoked a lot. But it's when cigarette companies were paying for this stuff. That's where the money was coming from for some of these films with them cigarette companies. They're trying to get people smoking cigarettes, and them alcohol. But yeah, it was a great movie. If you haven't watched it, we didn't tell you. We told you enough, but we didn't tell you too much where you couldn't go enjoy
Yeah,
it.
you still got to see it.
Yeah.
You still will enjoy it. Trust us.
Say you experienced it, and it can guide you for your next film project. So make good use of it. Any 1 minute, Jules TK. Actually, I got a question. Do y'all think there's a movie we should watch and talk about on the next show, or should we move forward? We choose the next movie. Because we do have options. I mean, we got Cooley High. It would have been nice to bring if Michael Schultz should have came on the show. I follow him on Facebook.
Ask him to come on the show then.
We'll see. Let's see. Let's find out. Panther. That means TK will have to hang out with me on Zoom and we can watch it.
Oh, because I can't get it online.
Yeah. So, I mean, we got other movies. Like, there's tons of movies. So, Soldier Story would be a good movie with Denzel. When people first, he like TK. And Soldier Story was a play also. Oh, your boy is in Soldier Story.
Oh,
Rollins.
oh, is he?
From
You were
Heat of the
saying
Night.
that.
Yeah, he's the main
Yeah,
character from Heat of the Yeah.
yeah, you were saying that.
Let's do that. Let's do Soldier Story because you got to do
Soldier Story.
military.
Okay.
Let's do some military because it's Black History Month, and Black people in the military was very important to America, even though at that times America made us feel like we weren't. Which would be fitting. So we're gonna do Soldier Story. So
Soldier Story. Okay.
We're gonna let you
And they
guys
have
know
a
now.
play. They have the Broadway Across America play going around right now.
Yep.
A Soldier Story, because I was actually looking at that to go see it too.
See? So timely. We're gonna watch the Soldier Story. Thomas said Lily in the Fields. Sidney Poitier. My Blackboard Jungle was my Sidney Poitier. And I got a lot of Sidney Poitier stuff. Man, I could do Uptown Saturday Night. Let's do it again. Because Sidney Poitier directed one of those.
I'm pulling it up to see where I can find it. All right, got it.
Soldier Story. I got Soldier Story on iTunes, Apple. So it's probably on Amazon, or I wonder if it's on Netflix or any of those. I'll pull it up and check too.
Yeah, it's on Amazon, Vudu, Philo, Philo, and then Sling.
Oh, okay.
Got it.
Yeah. So,
all right.
So, hey, I got a question. I'm going to open this up. Here's a chance to come on, but you got to watch Soldier Story. And we'll talk about the movie with you live as a guest. So, let us know if you're interested in hopping on, hanging out with us and discussing it so we can set it up. Send me or TK a message. TK's in charge of people coming on anyway. So send the message to TK because she's in charge. Because I will still refer you to TK regardless. And we'll only talk about Soldier Story. So just keep that in mind. We're going to talk about it cinematically, storytelling, script-wise, themes. We talk about the art, the sound, the music that's involved. We didn't get too deep in the music in this one. But let me tell you, go download this album. You can listen to it on Spotify, Apple. I got it on my Apple Music. Claudine, I ran it the whole time. After February, we'll get back to our once a month, we'll talk about a film. But we decided to make it Black Film February for Black History Month. So that's what we're going to have you come talk about to be a part of this. All right, 60-second Jewel, TK.
I don't have one.
Huh? You don't know?
I don't have one. I'm trying to think because I've been locking down locations, insurance. Oh, that doggone insurance, production insurance. Yeah, I got a word for that production insurance, guys. I'm learning. If you don't have it, Tone, I know she shot a lot of stuff, so she probably knows about it. But listen, that production insurance, yeah. So I'm learning about that. But I'm learning. I'm getting the information, getting the experience. Amen.
Amen. We were talking about that. Yeah, we talked about that stuff. So we do have some things coming in the future. I'm solidifying the planner. What you think so far about the planner?
I absolutely love it. I love it. I was thinking, okay, how am I gonna write in pencil in the planner so I can erase? You know what I mean? So I can, you know what I mean?
There's multiple copies so pages can be copied. And so Tiffany was just asking me, are you going to release it as a PDF or are you going to
I'm going to have to get mine binded for sure. There's no way, because the thing for us to really use it, nobody can print all those pages because those dark pages, it'll suck up all your
no, the pages colors have been changed. A lot of them were changed.
Right, but even if it's black, it sucks up a lot of black ink. You know what I mean? If you have the, the pages with the darker, like shaded on the sides and stuff
No,
like
no,
that.
like those are gone. Like I've been cleaning it up where it's just smooth colors,
Yeah,
like the black
I'm
and
gonna
white
do.
book. But yeah,
I
I
think
get
it
what you're
needs to be
saying.
a actual book.
The
I think it
actual
needs to be
book.
an actual book. Yeah.
See, TK get
And
on. He's
people,
like, you need to make it
you
a
can
book.
offer it as a PDF. People want it as PDF, but I would definitely, because it's gonna play better as a book. Because when I pick up the Screenwriter's Bible, I pick it
Mm-hmm.
up and I go in and see what I need, find what I need. In this particular thing, you got to go back to the PDF, remember what page is. You know what I mean? I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. I'm just a book person, but so you can offer it in both forms. I think.
Yeah, because it's a
But
lot
I
of
need a
tips in
book.
there. There's a lot of tips in there, a lot of information, and
It's a
I
lot of
stirred away
information.
from just the basic information because you guys, as people get into film, you should already have film books that tell you about camera shots and angles and stuff. This is more for developing your actual production.
It's really good,
It has
guys. It's
checklists, different
very good.
checklists in there. It tells you some things you know. I don't give you a bunch of companies because I was advised, which is good advice, not to
Hmm.
put too many businesses or companies in there because they can change and they're subjected to the person. But what you need and what you need to research, how to study, there's a list. Hey, there's even a list of colleges you might want to attend. Um,
Hmm.
Now I might find some workshops, but hey, there's other books there we but man, it came out to like 230 something
16.
pages.
Oh
Yeah.
wow! I told my mom. I said Michael did a planner, a filmmaker planner, and it is brilliant. I said this is
Thank you.
brilliant.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I
it is
appreciate
so amazing. I'm really blown away by it for real.
it. So we're trying to get that done for y'all. It'll be available. But at the end of the day, it's to help you guys. Like I saw what was lacking for me when I first got in and what I didn't know. And then I also now as an educator of film see what people don't know or are lacking or don't think
Mhm.
of. Something so simple as buying a hard drive. People don't do for their set. um, Having thumb drives to save their documents on, um, what devices to have available to you, put in your budget, things like that. It's just so many things we don't consider. So this was to really help people. Um, of course, we might miss something because there's new things all the time. The industry's
And there's a
forever
lot of
changing.
it's so much. But
Yeah.
if he said it was already at 237 pages, guys, just think about how much is in there. Every one, no one book is going to cover every freaking thing about filmmaking. Period.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have different books, but this is a lot, and
And
it's
it's
a
a
lot of
planner,
good
so
stuff.
it's just to keep you on a steady.
Yeah,
We even got prompts for you for writing stories. So you can come up with stories because there's nothing new under the sun. It's how you wrap it.
absolutely.
So my thing is be authentic. Well, be strategic, intentional, and authentic. I cannot say that. And interdependent filmmaker is the theme for this year and probably going on to the future because we work together for us to thrive together.
Right.
And even the planner even talks about that. That's so funny.
Mm-hmm.
So we hope that you guys enjoyed today's show. If you haven't watched Claudine, go ahead and watch Claudine. I know the Super Bowl's tomorrow, but you can watch it today. It's only 90 minutes or a little over. We enjoyed hanging out with y'all. Matter of fact, let's hey, thank you for joining us here at the Black Filmmakers Lounge. I'm your host, Michael Melville, my co-host, Tamira TK Henderson. We appreciate hanging out with you guys, discussing the film Claudine. It was a wonderful film. I'm not worried about thumbs or something because how you like something or not is all subjective. What we're looking at is what we liked about it, what we pulled from it as filmmakers. And it was awesome. Great comedy. Thank you, Thomas. We enjoyed you hanging out with us. We appreciate you guys. See, look, Darrell says, sounds like a nice book. I want to slide it my way. I want to slide it my way. Yeah, we
Trust me,
hey.
Darrell. Yes, trust me.
So again, next Saturday's film is A Soldier Story. So we hope that you guys watch it. And if you want to, like we said, come on and talk with us about it. That's what we'll do. All right, so we hope you guys have a wonderful Saturday. Enjoy yourself. Remember that the Black Film, what is the Black Filmmakers Lounge about? Because people are going to ask you. The Black Filmmakers Lounge is where independent filmmakers, whether they're novelists or professionals, can come together. Well, interdependent filmmakers, by the way, can come together to gain insight, perspective through education, information, networking, and to discuss industry best practices that will advance the Black interdependent film community and keep us moving, because we are creating our own space so that we can succeed together. So thank you for joining us. By the way, we'll tell you guys when is our next roundtable discussion.
I don't know.
So we'll let you know through the advertisements when we post on the pages. Join the YouTube page,
some of us about to be on set.
Well, most of y'all probably on the Facebook page anyway. That's how you found us.
Like, subscribe, share.
Instagram, YouTube,
share.
We hanging out in those places. Join the Black Filmmakers Lounge community page. By the way, fill out the questionnaire thoroughly. If anything's missing, the people won't let you in. They'll decline you. They've been told to. All right, we love you guys. Be blessed.
And share.
Like, subscribe, share.
And share. Like, subscribe, and share. Hey.